Welcome back to the Cerner Hospitalist Training video series. In this video, I'm simply going to create a progress note from the workflow using the standard recommended workflow that Cerner provides. In this example, I'm going to tag some text and then show you how I can add that tag text to the note before we sign it. I will also make use of Dragon, and I will use some Cerner auto text that I've created, some custom ones that I've created. I won't necessarily show each of those individual parts. In fact, there's other videos that explain how to create auto text both in Dragon and in Cerner. So we'll just run through a note just to show you the prescribed workflow and how quick and efficient it can be when you know how the system works. So let's begin. So to begin with, I'm looking at a patient here, getting acquainted with them. I'm going to just click on H&P. It may not have much validity to what we're trying to do right now, but we're going to attempt it anyway. So I'm looking at a cardiology consult note, and hopefully I'll find one with some information that I'd like to tag. So here I'm going to tag this information. Let's say I want to use this later on, so I'll tag that. So I'm just flowing through my notes. Keep in mind, by staying in the workflow here, this is supposed to help me quickly review the note. But if at any point I need to expand this and get a better look at it, I can either double click on it here, or I can click Open Document here and pull it to a second window. Sometimes you'll find that window you have to adjust the size by hovering over the edge, clicking it, holding it, pulling it open. And you can also grab it and move it to another screen if you have another screen available. And this view, you can also tag information. Oops. Once again, I'm just clicking my left mouse button, dragging over it, releasing the mouse button, and then I get this tag. I'm actually going to tag it twice just for demonstration purposes. I can exit here, or I can click that red X. So let's say I finish reviewing my documents. I continue working through here. I put my orders at the top to make it easy to access the order entry window, but I'm going to bypass that right now. For demonstration purposes, I think I'm just going to order a CBC in the AM. But I will do that later, because actually what I want to do is have at least one problem in your problem list to demonstrate that feature. So I'll wait on that one until I've put a little more documentation in here. So here's chief complaint. Typically this is already filled out, so I'll just say heart failure. I'll go here and say acute on chronic systolic heart failure. And let's say the patient also has type 2 diabetes. I'm going to say uncontrolled. And notice it's adding this visit, so it's adding these as a diagnosis since it's numbering the visit. And it highlights this in blue. If I hover over it, it puts a line. That means I can remove it. But I'm happy with that. So I'm just creating a progress note. So I'm moving fairly fast. I can look at the C. diff report. And now I'm to this part. So I'm going to go up here to subjective. I'm turning my microphone. In this case, I'm using PowerMic Mobile. And as you see, it turns from yellow to red, saying I do have an established connection. I have a 42-year-old patient here, so a fairly young patient. 42-year-old male presented to the emergency department with worsening orthopnea, dyspnea on exertion, chest tightness, and lower extremity edema over the last 3 days, period. Chest x-ray showed bilateral pulmonary edema compatible with acute heart failure. Dragon ROS course, that's an extensive review of systems. And I have to remember to turn my microphone off. I've also got a shorter one here. Oh, I did have one. Okay, now I'm going to use Dragon and use my fields to highlight on the field that I want to dictate over. Atypical chest pain that appears non-anginal. Positive nausea with no vomiting. Positive shortness of breath, comma, positive two-pillow orthopnea. Accept defaults. And then I come down here to objective. I've saved a couple of custom ones. For whatever reason, they're not immediately apparent. Okay, because I capitalized them. It is case sensitive, that's a good reminder. So I've got a short one there, and I do the same thing. One tip I can use here is I can actually click my mouse anywhere down here, then click my field key on my microphone, and it'll go ahead and highlight that next field. Bibasilar arousal, comma, increased work of breathing, compatible with heart failure. Tachycardia, comma, regular rhythm with occasional premature beats, comma, no murmurs, gallops, or rubs. One plus pitting edema, pretibial, comma, 2 plus pedal pulses. Accept defaults. Continue Lasix, comma, lisinopril, comma, carvedilol. Continue basal insulin and correctional insulin. Okay. So I have not created my note, but I put the information available for the note. I'll go over here and I've got a problem list. So typically my order entry would be lower below the problem list. But now that I have a problem list, I'm going to go to new order entry. Now I could also go to quick orders, either way. Because here in new order entry, if I just want to quickly do a BMP in the morning, I can order this. Turns this little box green. And notice it's going to put this BMP under both diagnoses, which makes it kind of sloppy. So I'll just say clear all and just say put it under here. And then I can actually go ahead and sign that. And now I'll go down here and create my progress note. There's the information I tagged earlier. I could actually drag this down here. And since I didn't want that, I'm removing it. All the information is there, and I can still add more information. I can still use templates. I can still use my dragon. I'm not limited here. I've got my little icon here to add free text if there's information that should be there that's not there. And I can just go in here and dictate. But I'm happy with this note, so I'll sign submit. Here's a major point. We've had a lot of trouble with this early on in our Cerner implementation, is that there's two options to save and close, but when you do that, it just simply puts the note away for future editing. It makes the note completely invisible to other consultants and actually invisible to billers and coders. So the best option is finish the note, sign and submit. If you need to add an addendum to the note, it's easy to do. In fact, we'll do that here in just a minute. Here I can send it to another provider or clinician if I'd like to by doing last name, comma, first name, but I'll just go ahead and sign. Now my note's been signed, ready to go. You won't immediately see it up here until you refresh. And there's my note. But let's say I'm not entirely happy. I left something off. So I can either double click or click open document to bring it up into its own window. And then I can either click on this icon to modify, or I can right click anywhere in the middle, click modify. And I can add an addendum here. I failed to mention that the patient was going for cardiac catheterization today, since he began having chest pain and showed some ST depressions last night period. The pain was relieved with morphine, comma, oxygen, comma, and nitroglycerin, period. The patient showed a slight elevation of his troponins this morning, period. I sign the note and close that. Go back up here, refresh again. Go back to my note, and there's my addendum. All right, so that's just a quick run through of the workflow so you can see it in action. And we'll hit some of the other high points such as the med rec in another video. Thank you.